as the clock ticks over into midnight. The fear of what you've created settles in. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Skyward Sword. Unlike usual, this video is being recorded very late at night or very early in the morning, depending on whichever you prefer. The reason why is because I was online playing a game with some of my friends before, and I drank an energy drink somewhat foolishly because I did want to save it for tomorrow because I felt I was going to be very tired tomorrow, and I feel like I've set that as my fate by drinking an energy drink past noon. All you kids drinking caffeine past noon o'clock? I don't know. It's quite late. It's not like 4 a.m. late. It's probably not even late for a lot of people. But it's definitely later than usual for me to be recording this, because usually I'm here in my studio around 1 p.m. recording this, or doing anything really in the studio. But today, it's dark. The thing is, in this studio, I think I've mentioned it before, but I don't have any electricity. So I run in the extension cable into the studio, and so the lights don't work, and I don't have like a lamp or a lantern or something like that, so I have to rely on my phone's flashlight laying down on a table facing up, and that kind of illuminates the room, but it also gives it like this scary vibe. Speaking of scary, I'm not paying attention to the game at all. There is quite a bit of editing in this episode, and then like it sort of phases out, and then there's no editing for like 10 minutes, and then there's some editing, and then yeah, this apple joke drove me crazy editing it. As well, this video in particular was so frustrating to edit. And it's all self-imposed. Like, nobody cares about these videos. Nobody cares about the apple joke. Or, the joke that's coming up at the end. I mean... Sorry, I think... just the main reason I did this was because earlier there was another apple used as a joke, as a bomb, and this one's just a big apple. It's New York. I'm firing New York. I bumped the thing. That's like quite loud. I'm sorry. So my voice is probably a bit gravelly because I was just talking with my friend for the past while. This guy sucks to fight. I don't know if I've said that, but this is my least favorite boss in any game. Maybe not in any game, but it's just frustrating to do this. I mean, I think there was an easier way, but I didn't figure it out until like the end, like the final battle. So I just spent all my time attacking his cozy wozies, making him fall. And then he gets red and then moves forward fast. And then he also has the shockwave. I'm kind of tired. I don't know if you can tell. The energy drink, I don't know if I'm just like, I wouldn't say immune to caffeine, but it doesn't really do much for me. I don't know. Recently, I saw on Twitter some new things going around. It's definitely not new as I'm recording this, and it won't be new tomorrow when I upload this. But it's people... pretty much... one of them was somebody found out that aphantasia is a thing. It has the chart with all the different heads that have apples at different levels of visibility. People going, whoa, I never considered the possibility of not being able to see in your brain, or I never considered the possibility of being able to see in your brain. So yeah, it's nice for people to finally be catching up with what I've been saying for months now. I don't know if it's been months. I've been saying it since last decade. And the other thing was, like, the way that you think. I'm ruining a dramatic moment, and I'll continue to be ruining the story in this game by talking over it about things I see on Twitter. But the thing about thinking on Twitter was people being unsure of whether you have like a constant internal dialogue or if you simply think with like feelings or whatever. And I don't know if I think with a lot because I have aphantasia, or just because my brain operates in a way that just like thinks a lot. Like when I'm thinking, sometimes I like don't think anything at all. I just like, if I'm listening to music on a bus, I just sort of like phase out and I'm just like listening to music and watching scenery scroll past. But if I'm like just thinking, I think a lot. Like pretty much what I talk about on these videos is kind of like how my brain works. Just like talking about random things and often being like derailed and not remember what I was thinking about before. And my video is skipping a bit. I might become desynced. Hopefully not. And sometimes, you know those things where, I apologize if people are gonna get annoyed at this, those things where you're like, you are now breathing manually, or you're blinking manually, something like that. And occasionally, I catch myself thinking just about anything. And then I start consciously thinking. That's a weird way to describe it, but it's basically like... I don't know what kind of equivalence I could say. Imagine like you were just like talking about whatever, and then and then you like realize that you said something, and then suddenly you're thinking about what you're saying. Or you're putting more effort into what you're saying instead of just like talking mindedly. I don't know if that's a equal thing. And I wonder if people who think without the constant stream of thoughts think about, hey, Groose, you don't get to see Zelda. I wonder if they have the intrusive sort of thoughts that just like pop up. You know, the call of the void or whatever it is. Where your brain just like, hey, what if you just like punched the person over there? Or whatever. Which is apparently, this is something I read, It's apparently for your brain to keep active in understanding the consequences of things. What's up? Hey Zelda, I know you're about to lock yourself in whatever you're doing, but Bruce says, what's up? Well, I've been thinking, can I just like operate, you know? Can I operate on a heart? That's not what I'm thinking about. I've been thinking of what kind of things I want to stream. And the thing is, I don't want to stream games that I do like because I don't want really to play them without having an audience to watch me play them.
Hey!
But I also don't have an audience and need to stream more to get that audience. So I don't know, it's sort of like a push and pull, and then of course I could just re-stream games like Vinesaw. You know, he streamed Chrono Trigger, one of his favorite games, near the start, and then streamed it again recently. Time to go see Zelda. I'm really not sure what I want to do with my life anymore. I know this comes right out of left field, but when you're constantly exposed to the type of the same type of media and perspectives and so forth, it's easy to get stuck in a mindset, you know, where you don't really consider anything else. Say for example, this is a weird thing to talk about, but I used to think that I wanted to get a vasectomy, and I was kind of sure of it myself, to the point where not only did I say it in a video on this YouTube channel, but I also said it in a classroom of my peers in high school. But now, because I don't like being in the same environment, so I like to, you know, branch like different views in life and things. And I've been reading a lot more of like traditionalist views, and it sort of changed the way that I think about certain things. And I caught myself as I was walking home today from the shops. I was thinking about what kind of book I would read to my child. Not if I would have a child. Just what kind of book would I read to my child which would exist in my brain. And that's a big step forward. You know, I'm not in a relationship with anyone. I don't really like the idea of children. And yeah, I've just thought about it. And I think it's interesting to not let yourself be stuck, you know? Maybe not even stuck, but just exploring options and different worldviews is really important. I know a lot of people, when they explore different perspectives, they usually do it with a negative perception to start with. And That's not really good because it, like, further increases your original perspective instead of allowing you to see new things. And I'm not saying that you should completely change who you are every month, you know? I'm just saying that you should not let something define you. You should allow your personality to be unrestricted by simply one point of view. Because if you have a broader range of experiences and knowledge, that improves you as a person. And I did not realize that you got the full Master Sword in this cutscene. I skipped ahead in editing. But yeah, I'm not sure if I ever will have a child. I'm not sure if I ever will have a vasectomy. See, this is especially important if you're younger than me, which I assume most people would be. I don't expect anyone older than me to be listening to what I have to say. Well, maybe they might, but when you're young, even if you don't think it, even if you're old sometimes, even if you don't know anything, I don't think that's what I meant to say, but you are incredibly easy to get ideas seeded into your subconscious, you know? Like, subconsciously or consciously in your main brain, you may think, oh yeah, that's sort of dismiss that. But subconsciously, it sort of like sticks and you think about it more. Which is kind of like an antithesis of something else that I wanted to talk about. And I don't have much time on this episode. But it's about how people don't realize how much their upbringing really affects them. I guess it kind of works, because I was talking about young people being easily influenced by things, but people tend to blame perspectives and opinions on the person instead of the way that they were raised and what they were exposed to when they were younger. Here comes an editing joke. You ready? That editing joke crashed my computer. At least once. That was... oof. But yeah. And knowing, like, the way that you were raised is so deeply entwined with who you are as a person. Oftentimes it's difficult to see how deeply it affects you.